You are welcome to yet another episode of LFN What's Your Say? The leading listening show where we discuss important issues with important people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Today we're back to tackling a case that sparked heated debate, the conviction of R&B star R. Kelly under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act or RICO. Many people around the world knew R. Kelly only for his music, but his legal troubles have since taken center stage, culminating in a 30-year prison sentence in 2021 for racketeering and sex trafficking. But here's the question we're exploring today. Were the RICO charges against him fair? Or did prosecutors stretch the law beyond its intended purpose, turning everyday business operations into a so-called criminal enterprise? Attorney Jennifer Bonjean, who is Kelly's defense lawyer, spent nearly an hour in front of the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York, arguing that the RICO Act was misapplied. She made a compelling case, but the courts didn't listen. Let's break down why the court's interpretation of RICO is flawed, why it sets a dangerous precedent, and why the actions of Kelly's staff were far from the criminal enterprise the government claimed. Buckle up, as this is a deep dive into justice, law, and the truth. First, let's talk about what RICO is. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act was passed in 1970 to dismantle organized crime. Think of mafia groups, cartels, or gangs with a clear structure and a shared purpose to commit illegal acts for profit. RICO was designed to target groups where everyone involved knows they're part of a criminal operation, working together with a common purpose to break the law. It's a powerful tool because it allows prosecutors to tie together seemingly unrelated crimes under the umbrella of a criminal enterprise and impose harsher penalties. To convict someone under RICO, the government must prove two things. First, that there's an enterprise, which is a group with a structure and a common purpose. Second, that this enterprise engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity, meaning at least two criminal acts from a list of 35 offenses like bribery, extortion, or murder committed within a 10-year period. The key here is that the enterprise itself must be rooted in crime, not just a legitimate business with a bad actor in it. Now, let's apply this to R. Kelly's case. In 2021, a federal jury in Brooklyn convicted Kelly of racketeering and sex trafficking, alleging that his music empire, his staff, assistants, and business operations were a criminal enterprise designed to recruit women and underage girls for illegal sexual activity. The government painted a picture of Kelly as the mastermind of a decades-long scheme, with his employees knowingly facilitating his crimes. But here's where things get murky. Attorney Jennifer Bonjean, in her appeal to the Second Circuit, argued that prosecutors stretched the definition of enterprise beyond what RICO was meant to cover. She told the court that a RICO enterprise must be an organization rooted in crime and not a legitimate business with one person committing crimes. This distinction is critical, and it's where the prosecution's case starts to crumble. Let's break down Bonjean's argument. She spent nearly an hour educating the Second Circuit judges, trying to make them see that RICO was never meant to apply to cases like Kelly's. Her point was simple but powerful. A RICO enterprise isn't just any group of people working together. It's a group united by a common purpose to commit crimes. Think of a drug cartel where everyone from the boss to the runners knows they're breaking the law. Or a mafia family where every member is in on the extortion, murder, or loan sharking. That's what RICO was designed for. But in R. Kelly's case, the government took a different approach. They argued that his music empire, his managers, assistants, accountants, and security team, was a criminal enterprise because they allegedly helped Kelly carry out his illegal acts. But did they? Did Kelly's staff share a common purpose to commit crimes with him? That's where the prosecution's case falls apart. Bonjean argued that the actions of Kelly's staff, which the government labeled as racketeering, were not inherently illegal. Let's look at some examples. Prosecutors pointed to things like an assistant passing a fan Kelly's phone number, or booking a plane ticket for a woman traveling with him. These are standard tasks in the music industry and are not illegal acts. Artists interact with fans all the time. Giving out a phone number isn't a crime. Booking travel for someone who's legally allowed to travel isn't a crime either. These actions only become problematic if you assume Kelly's staff knew they were facilitating illegal activity and agreed to do so as part of a criminal conspiracy. But where's the evidence of that? Bonjean hammered this point home. Without proof that Kelly's staff shared a common purpose to break the law, you can't call their actions racketeering. It's like saying a chef is part of a criminal enterprise because he cooked dinner for a mob boss who needed to eat and be strong to return to committing crimes. For God's sake, the chef is just doing his job, not plotting crimes. This misinterpretation of enterprise is what makes Kelly's conviction so troubling. The government essentially argued that any business with a criminal in it could be labeled a RICO enterprise. Now that's a dangerous precedent. Imagine you're a business owner and you ask your accountant to send money to your partner as routine to cover monthly expenses. Years later, you have a messy breakup and your ex accuses you of wrongdoing. Under the prosecution's logic in Kelly's case, that simple transaction could be twisted into racketeering. Your accountant who was just doing their job could be painted as a member of your criminal enterprise. This stretches RICO far beyond its original purpose, turning everyday business or lifestyle operations into potential federal crimes. Bonjean tried to make the judges see this irony, but as some comedian put it, they were like naughty students who lack attention in class. They didn't grasp the lesson, and the Second Circuit upheld Kelly's conviction in February 2025. To add fuel to the fire, the Supreme Court later declined to hear his appeal, leaving this flawed interpretation of RICO intact. Now let's dig deeper into the actions of Kelly's staff, because this is where the government's case really starts to unravel. The prosecution claimed that Kelly's employees were part of a racketeering scheme because they performed tasks that allegedly helped him commit crimes. But let's examine those tasks closely. Passing a fan R. Kelly's phone number? That's something any artist's assistant might do. Fans often want to connect with their idols, and handing out a phone number or arranging a meet and greet is standard in the entertainment world. And besides, this is very legal practice irrespective of the age of the fans. And there's no evidence that the staff member knew the fan was underage or that Kelly had illegal intentions. Without that knowledge and intent, how can you call it racketeering? It's just an employee doing their job. Then there's the example of booking plane tickets. The government pointed to instances where Kelly's staff arranged travel for women who were meant to accompany him. But again, there's a huge gap here. Booking a plane ticket for someone who's legally allowed to travel isn't a crime. The prosecution would have to prove that the staff knew these women were being coerced or trafficked and deliberately helped Kelly carry out those crimes. But where's the proof? Did the assistant who booked the ticket know the woman's age or the nature of her relationship with Kelly? Did they agree to participate in a criminal scheme? The government didn't provide concrete evidence of this. They relied on assumptions, painting Kelly's entire operation as a criminal enterprise without showing that his staff shared a common purpose to break the law. This is the heart of Bonjean's argument. RICO requires a group effort, a shared commitment to crime. If Kelly was committing crimes on his own, that's not enough to make his business a RICO enterprise. The law doesn't punish people for working for someone who later turns out to be a criminal. Think about it, if your boss commits tax fraud, does that make you a racketeer because you sent an email for them? Of course not. You'd have to know about the fraud and agree to become part of it for RICO to apply. In Kelly's case, the government failed to show that his staff were knowingly part of a criminal conspiracy. They were just doing their jobs. To call this racketeering is to twist the law into something it was never meant to be. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.